welcome to Restored by Polish. I'm Krista. Welcome back if you are returning, and welcome if you are new. Glad to have you here. And once again, still without Jacqueline. I think we have it on our calendar for maybe the end of this month. She's gone now on a trip, and I'm, still dealing with house stuff. So hopefully we'll get into a groove here pretty quickly. So that's my hope anyway. And of course, after I got done bragging about our weather, that it was going to be so nice and warm, it started getting cold again. So now I'm having to wear sweatshirts, and it actually snowed yesterday and hailed. And yeah, so, summer's taking its good sweet time to get here. But speaking of that, so in today's video, we are going to do the late spring, early summer 2024 nail trends, right? So I just kind of been poking around. I've read some different articles online, just seeing what's up. Some of them are rollovers from last year or even last seasons. There seems to be that there's some trends going around that are just sticking around for a while. So I thought it would be fun to do a little bit of nail art with these trends and just some polishes that go along with the trends. So I got that all together in some short clips. Now I'm going to be doing something a little bit different than I normally do. I'm not doing this completely live. Oh, and don't mind, I've got all my drawers of polish behind me here. So I'm in process of bringing more stuff up here. So if you see that in the background, that's what you're seeing on the floor back there. Anyway, so how I'm doing this is a little bit different. I'm going to do a voiceover, which I don't normally do. I've done it a few times, but here's the thing. I did a whole 45-minute video last week that you guys aren't going to be able to see because I was doing some nail stamping. I still want to do a reverse nail stamping tutorial, kind of watch me do it video, but it is so difficult to do that when you're trying to do it under a camera. And my hats are off to those people that can do that really well. It was just really, the table was shaking, things got knocked. And so I just was not happy with it at all. So it all got deleted. And so this time when I was doing nail art, I decided, why don't I just concentrate on what I'm doing, make sure everything is good in camera. Now there are some spots where the camera wants to focus on my nail polish, which I've got some really fun nail polish on, so I can understand why it wanted to focus on that instead of the nail, only in one spot really, so it's not that big of a deal. But it does turn out, I think, better to be able to focus on that and see exactly what I'm doing, and I'll give you a voiceover on what's happening and what the trends are and why I chose what I chose. So without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and you can take a look at all these clips. Okay, starting off with number one, bright greens. So I chose something a little different. I picked this one from Maniology. I've had it forever. I bought it in the beginning of my nail stamping journey. It's called Soft Sage. And we forget sometimes that we can use our stamping polishes as just a regular mani. And this one turned out really, really pretty. I can't believe I've never worn this just on its own because it's gorgeous. Nice and bright. So bright greens on the docket for spring this year. Going into number two, floral everything flowers, any kind of way you want to use them. So in this case, I am using on the base of the nail here, we're going to be looking at OPI's Susie Chase's Portuguese. And then I do show the blue that I'm using here in just a minute. It is from Color Club. You're probably going, Krista, that doesn't look like a flower. And you're right. I'm actually just adding some abstract shapes onto the nail just for some interesting background, and then we will get into putting some flowers on. If you're not a straight up flower person, you don't want just flowers hanging out on your nails, sometimes it's nice just to have an abstract nail art base so that you have something else to look at besides the flowers. And it also makes it so you don't have to use a ton of flowers too. You can just use maybe one or two, which is what we're going to do here. So I am using some nail art brushes that I picked up off of Amazon. Nothing crazy. I guess I probably at some point should invest in some better ones, but it does the job. I only use them really occasionally for nail art and then also for reverse stamping. So it's not like I need the best ones. All right, that blue is called Take a Chill Pill from Color Club. It is from the Whatever Forever collection. Super pretty. And then I'm also going to be using Morgan Taylor's Bed of Petals for the flowers, along with, what else did I use here? Oh, my dotting tool. And then I am going to do another flower here with some other polishes, but for right now we're just going to be using Bed of Petals from Morgan Taylor. This is that section I was talking about where it's focusing, the camera's focusing on my nail rather than on the art that I'm doing. I apologize for that. So I am using the bigger side of the dotting tool. Some dotting tools have a smaller little end and a bigger end. Even with the bigger end, it's sometimes hard to get some good size dots out of there. But the good thing is you can just go back over it a couple times and make that dot a little bit bigger, which is what you'll see I'm doing here. And then I'm going to do the other flower with Sally Hansen's Traveling Light. And so you're going to see that I already put them on there. And then to fill in the flowers is You're the Zest, also from Sally Hansen. So you're going to see just a little clip here of me just putting that middle part of the flower on there. This one down on the bottom was being a little bit stubborn. I don't know if it was the angle that I was going at, but it all works out in the end. There's going to be a couple of them like that where you might be a little panicked, but I promise everything turns out okay in the end. So yeah, it doesn't take much to do, just a few flowers like that. Again, you could do 5 little dots around for petals. You could add more later. You could add a different colored polished dotting tool around the petals so that you have 2 different color petals going if you want a little bit more depth. I was going with kind of a simple pattern just because I had that abstract nail art behind it. And number 3 will be neutral chromes, which is so interesting to me. So I started out with this base from OPI, which is called Coastal Sanctuary. It's super pretty. It's actually beautiful on its own, which you're going to see here in a second. I'll show you. But it's kind of a really white-based nude color, more on the beigey side than taupey side, creamy maybe, and it's really pretty. It's just gorgeous. But to make that kind of chromy look, we're going to add Your Soul Calls to Me from Bee's Knees Lacquer. I love this polish. It's one of my very favorite toppers. If you're looking for any kind of pastel multi-chrome, this one will do it, and you can add it to anything. I've used it on several different bases and loved it. But again, we're doing neutral chromes, which I think is different. You know, I'm sorry I got a little bit off camera here, but you're going to see it in just a second. This polish, if you can find it, it's amazing. So look at this. Look how pretty this turned out. I would definitely wear this. I'm not typically much of a nude polish wearer, especially not in like spring or summer. But yeah, this turned out really pretty. And number 4 is strawberries. Yep. I feel like this will be more for summer than spring. But again, we're doing late spring, early summer. Poppin' Pink from LA Colors. This is their Art Deco little nail art polishes that you can find at the Dollar Tree. You're probably thinking this doesn't look like a strawberry, and you're right. What I'm actually doing is just doing a little French tip on there, just because a lot of the examples that I saw with strawberries showed a French tip first, and then they did the strawberry design on top of it. So this one I'm using for the red is from Maniology, called Fireside. I was looking for a bright red. It was sitting on my desk, so I liked it. And I'm going to use this dotting tool again to do the strawberry. Much like we did with the flower, and you can also do the same thing with hearts, but we're just going to do 3 dots to at least get the outline of the strawberry. Strawberries are kind of heart-shaped, so that's what you're going to see me doing here. And so we're just going to make kind of like little 2 eyes and a nose is what it looks like. And then I'm going to take my nail art brush, which I should have fixed the bristles on. When I cleaned it off, I didn't fix the bristles again. I'm surprised I didn't notice that when I was painting, but again, I promise it all turns out okay. So, but yeah, you just kind of fill it in, make that little kind of strawberry look. You can sort of round out the bottom a little bit, like I did there. And then I'm going to use this one from Salon Perfect. I featured this in my last video. It's called Show Me the Money. I wanted a bright green, and rather than just like a stark emerald green, I wanted more of a summer and springy green, so that's why I chose this one. It might have been a little bit jelly-ish. I should have maybe picked something a little bit more opaque. So what I'm doing here is just basically outlining the top of that strawberry, and I did drag down just a little bit in the middle there, so you can kind of see that cap of the green stem coming off it, and then you just add the little top on there. So yeah, and then I'm just going over it again just because, like I said, it was a little sheer, so I wanted to bring it out a little bit more. Very cute. And then I'm going to go back in with some black seeds. I am using another one from this little nail art polishes from LA Colors, just black. And I'm going to use the very, very tip of it. Actually, I didn't even use the actual brush for that one. I used my fine detail nail art brush to put in some tiny little black seeds. Number 5 is going to be Pastel Micro French. So I kind of already did a micro French for you in that strawberry one. We're going to do the same thing again on this one with this yellow. This is that yellow from Sally Hansen, You're the Zest. The base color on there is Orly's Rose Colored Glasses. We're going to be talking more about that one in a minute. Not much to this. I just used my fine detail brush to get that on there. I probably shouldn't have picked a pastel yellow. Maybe I should have picked a pastel blue or a pink that was a little bit more opaque. This one was a little patchy, so it wasn't going on as smoothly as I liked, but it does turn out okay in the end, especially once I put top coat on it. It looks okay. And number 6 is Olive Greens. I was a little on the fence with this one. So I ended up picking this one from Restored by Polish, which is called Pondering Spring. So I guess it is fitting. It is the perfect olive green. I like that it has the iridescent flakies in there that make it pop a little bit more. This was hard for me. I typically think of olive greens for fall and not so much for spring, but this one I think is perfect. I did actually originally pick this next one, which you're going to see right here from Sinful Colors, which really is an olive green, but it's in the green family, so I was trying to make it work. This one is called Eucalypta, and yeah, I probably would reach for this more than I would reach for an olive green in spring, just because that's who I am. And this one is just super, super pretty. Number 7 is Jelly Nails. Yep, they're not going away. Jelly nails are everything. Probably going to go all through the summer. I picked 2. This one is Rose Colored Glasses from Orly. This is the one I use for all of my if I ever do a French manicure, I tend to pull this as my base. I really like it, but it's really pretty on its own, especially in a couple coats. I think I just did 1 coat here. It's basically one of those Your Nails but better polishes. It complements my skin tone perfectly, and I really like it. But I also wanted to pick something fun and bright, so I picked up one of my favorite Sinful Colors from their Sheer Matte collection. This one is called Turquoise. I've talked about this one a lot. I love it. It has a little bit of a shimmer in there. It does dry matte, but you can always add top coat. And I haven't worn it completely on its own. I probably should try that, but it's really pretty. This is, I think, just 1 coat I did with that one there with some top coat. Super pretty. And number 8 is going to be Bright Chromes for spring. All right, I'm struggling with this one. I picked this one from Cleona. It is a magnetic. The reason why I did that was because a lot of the examples that I saw online for the Bright Chromes for spring and summer were magnetic polishes, chrome magnetics. So I decided I would do this one. And it does have a pretty spring pink in there. It has a very strong magnetic effect. Of course, on the nail, once it dried, even though I held the magnet forever, it did kind of spread a little bit. But I do like how that turned out, and I actually think I would wear this in spring. It might be a stretch for me, but I think I would. And it's a beautiful polish. Number 9 is 3D nails. So yeah, all those cute little doodads that you can stick onto your nails is what we're going to use. I got these, I think, off of Amazon. Some of them I think were free with gift with purchase. Got some watermelon, some little cheetah spots, and then just some abstract little shapes in gold and silver metal. And so the way that I do this, I always start with a sticky base coat. This one is Stick It. This is one that Jacqueline gave me, a big bottle of it, so I'll probably use it forever. And I just think that works the best to get these kind of little gemstones to stick on. So I'm using, again, this OPI base coat color polish underneath. It's not the best polish to use for the base, so just ignore the white there. And then I did that Stick It really fast in that clip because I did get some fuzzies stuck all over it, so I had to do it. I had to clip it out, so there is still a little fuzzy on the tip there, but it's all right. We're going to cover it up. And what I'm using is an orange stick, and then just making the orange stick a little bit wet on the tip, and then I use that to pick up the little gemstone. I dropped that one, decided to go with the watermelon before I went back for that other little silver one there. You can also, and I have used in the past, a wax pencil, which I just didn't have with me, but a wax pencil with a wax tip makes it easy to pick up anything that's 3D dried flowers or little metal pieces like this. Works really well to pick it up. So that stuck pretty well to that stick it, and I will be top coating that here in a little bit. And last but not least is pink and red. That's our number 10 one, pink and red colors. So I started with just a soft base. This is the base polish I used for this one. It's called Sheer Fantasy from Maybelline. I picked it up at the Dollar Tree. It's pretty, it's got a little shimmer in there. I just thought it would be nice to have sort of a springy pastel base, and then we're going to come in with some bright colors. So we're going to use this pink from Color Club. I don't have the name. I bought it in a set. No labels on there. And then this one from Maniology. Again, we use this for the strawberry. This is Fireside. I also decided to add some white in there too. So this was sitting on my desk. This is Bam White from Maniology. So yeah, I decided to do that in this manicure. I'm going to do some more abstract images just because I find those the easiest to put on rather than trying to actually make an image. I feel like any kind of art I do is abstract just because I'm not an artist, so it's easier just to say, oh, it was abstract. Is that how it works? But I am going to just do some squiggles. I'm using sort of a medium brushed length art brush here. I don't want to use a super long one because it would be too hard to manage, and I didn't want to do too short of one because it would take forever. So I am kind of using that medium length brush there. And this is going on okay. Usually these Color Clubs are really good. It's not super sheer, but it is going to take a little bit of couple coats to get there on there and get that nice and crisp line. And now I'm going to add a little bit of that red. I'm going to go on the other side and do just kind of a little half circle abstract. I'm going to color this one in just to get that pink and the red in there. I decided to make it a little bit bigger. This nail wheel has really large artificial nails on there, so I would be doing it a lot smaller on my own nails. And then with the white, I'm just going to outline that squiggle that we did with the pink. And you can see here how much more opaque a stamping polish is compared to a regular polish. It's almost better, I think, to use stamping polishes for nail art. They just go on easier and you don't have to go over it as much. So this turned out pretty cute like this, but of course, you know, it's Krista. It doesn't really have a lot of bling on there, so I thought I would add some more bling. So you're gonna see what I'm gonna do here in just a second. I'm gonna finish up making the edge lines there just a little more crisp, a little crisper there. And then you're gonna see what I decided to do to just take this up one more notch and make it look more like a Krista Mani, I guess I should say. So what I'm using is another one of those LA Colors Art Deco nail art polishes that I got at Dollar Tree to put in some, it's basically a silver glitter one. Yes, a big glob dropped off of that long brush stem, but no worries, I'm gonna use it and put it on there. I do love these nail art deco ones. They do smell really bad. I shudder to think what's in them, but I figure I don't do this very often, so it all works. But yeah, I just wanted to get a little bit of that sparkle on there, and I think it rounded out that whole little mani there. So there you have it. It looks pretty. So here is the final polishes with all of our trends for late spring, early summer. I'd love to know which one is your favorite. Are you going to do any of these? Did you enjoy this type of video? Let me know. Thank you for joining me today. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in our next video. Bye.